be a star, to raise a bar with all links in the chain. Yeah, not all are the same. You don't have to be a star to raise a bar with all links in the chain. You don't have to be a star to raise a bar with all links in the chain. Hey guys, this is Renée coming to you live from Las Vegas.
And it's LindaRose coming to you live from Maine.
I'm so excited for today's episode, and we have a great interview planned for you guys today. So today we're going to be airing an interview we did with Ro. She is an amazing, super talented singer-songwriter. Make sure to check out her music. We have everything linked below in the description. She's so talented. She has a Spotify and a SoundCloud, so make sure to go check her out if you already don't know her music. I also just wanted... Oh, okay, your cam's working now.
Okay, good.
Perfect. I was just going to go ahead and talk some about the Nightingale. Next week is our halfway point discussion where we will be talking about the first 20 chapters of the book. Make sure to tune in, and it's not too late to start reading if you haven't started yet. Yeah, we have the link in the description for anybody who wants to read along with us. It's an amazing book, and here's a little picture of the copy. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is a good book, and I'm really happy that we chose it to read it this 2 months.
Absolutely. I'm like 120 pages into it so far, and it's already one of my favorite books from that of that genre. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good, and I'm happy we picked it out.
Absolutely. We're going to be giving away another copy of this book, so make sure to check out the featured bar in the Orchid Times show group for some info on how to enter. We are currently working towards getting 1,000 followers on the Orchid Times group page, so if you don't already, please go and make sure you follow and have checked out the group too. You can also follow us on TikTok and Instagram for more Orchid Times and female empowerment content. We usually post daily.
Yeah, our TikTok account is amazing. Not to brag or anything, but we post hilarious content on there, so you should definitely go watch and follow and share our page so that we can grow and get our message out.
Absolutely. Thank you guys all so much for being here. We're going to go ahead and air Ro's interview, and me and Renee will be on afterwards to do a news segment today.
Thank you guys so much for coming on and watching. I hope you guys enjoy this interview. It was a lot of fun to film, and I really enjoyed making it.
Absolutely. So much fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm blessed.
I'm so excited. So for the first question tonight, could you introduce yourself and talk a bit about your journey with music?
My journey of music, let's see. Well, my journey of music, my family's very musical. My grandfather was very musical. He was in a band. He played a piano. Well, he played the piano. My mom is a trained opera singer, and she teaches piano and voice. My great grandmother played violin. I've been singing in. I've been singing since I was 3. I'm in a Jewish choir. I sing. I'm a soloist in that. I used to sing solos in elementary school, college, plays. That's my journey. I've been in many bands, and I've expanded and expanded. I've written in more and more and more. Music is a journey. It's everywhere. And that's where music is medicine, and everybody needs to dose a day because it's a constant journey. You learn so much from music, and just constant.
Absolutely.
Lil, you're young and you're exploring it right now.
Yes, I totally agree. I think it's super cool that you grew up in a musical family, and that's just amazing to hear.
I grew up listening to my mom. She taught piano and voice downstairs from where I was, so I heard it when I was waking up. I heard it when I was going to bed. I heard it all through the middle of the day. So it was constant. It's just constant journeying for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I relate a lot to that just in I mean music is an art, but just like drawing and painting and everything because my family is full of artists. So I grew up with that instead of music and I relate a lot to the always having because my grandfather still paints a lot, a ton, and my great grandfather painted a ton. So they were always downstairs painting. Whenever I woke up, I'd go downstairs and they'd have a new project going, and it it was interesting for me to grow up because it took me a little while to ease into it. And now, I mean, doing stuff on canvases and everything like that was one of my favorite things to do and kind of a coping skill for me. And it's funny how it took me a few years to go into it, and then now it's something I can't imagine myself not doing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I went to art school, Linda, LindaRose, and I come, I can totally understand where you're coming from. However, nowadays it's all on computers, and I can't go back to school and learn. I mean, I could go back to school and learn it, but it would take me forever. Um, but yeah, it is anything, a hobby. A hobby is like music, uh, and any kind of, you're right, art, music, anything. So to ask where it's going, you never know. The constant journey.
It just goes. And I know that a big thing for me to get into art was inspirations. And the big one for me was my great grandfather because I have a really close relationship with him. And I want to know who some of your musical inspirations were.
Oh my goodness gracious. Um, let's see. I know you're gonna laugh at this, but uh, I was at a nursing home with my mom. My mom used to do nursing homes for the elderly, and some gentleman, when I was singing young, he said, "You sound just like Janis Joplin." I didn't know who Janis Joplin was, so I did my research on Janis Joplin, and my mom used to sing, allow me to sing Billie Holiday with her, "Summertime," and all that stuff. So Janis Joplin was a big inspiration. Classic rock. I like to sing classic rock. The Doors, The Grateful Dead. Um, and when I hear a song during Java Jamming, when I'm given a song by someone and I like it, even though I don't like one, I'll do it anyway just to get the experience. Um, and I learned from that. And I learned from that. And I like to learn a lot of songs. And that's another musical journey.
Absolutely. Janis Joplin is so cool, and she's a great musical inspiration to have. For our next question, we were talking a little bit about learning songs already, so I wanted to ask you, can you walk us through your process for how you learn new music?
How do I learn my music? Um, you don't really learn music. It comes to you. And everyone laughs at me because I say I do a rofication. I learn the music. I listen to it first. And then I listen to it again. And then I listen to it the third time. And then I put it away. And then I listen to it again. And I take my guitar out and I try to get the chords correctly. But then I rolify it to a way I can do it myself so that it's easier for me to learn. I do want to point out to you, LindaRose and Lilly, that I have a learning disability. And to do music with a learning disability, like everybody else, like if you're an artist, like LindaRose, or you're a musician, having a learning disability and trying to overcome it it's very hard. It's hard to read music, it's hard to write, and it's hard to play any instrument or do artwork to overcome a learning disability. And it's weird because when you rolify something to your own way, it's so delightful and it's so inspirational to yourself. And that's what I mean by rolification. I'm taking it and making it my own, so I can own it and make myself feel better about it. And that's how I learn my music.
Absolutely. You're so inspiring, and it's definitely such a great, important thing to make music your own so you can enjoy playing it how you want to.
Right. And then you make other people happy because you're doing
Yes.
something they enjoy. You're learning it for them, but you're also learning it for yourself, so you have that gratification for yourself as well as them, and you're putting a smile on their face and you're giving them the music medicine that they deserve as well.
Absolutely. It's such a rewarding thing to do.
Yeah, I do have a friend who is very, very highly dyslexic, and she struggles a lot with school. And I know I've helped her so much through school, and me and my grandmother EmEm have found like therapists and stuff to help her with her dyslexic because they can find one. And school for especially English because she's in honors classes. We read so much, and she comes over to my house quite a lot, and we read the books together. And she's done so much, and just from being in the secondhand experience of her, how where she's so smart, but something like she just never gives up, and that's so inspirational to me because I know sometimes giving up can it just seems like the way out, and she just hasn't given up, and that's why me and EmEm love watching your lives, bro, because they're just so fun there, and you've never given up, and you've just always kept going, and that's something I look up to. That's something that you've inspired me to do so much.
Well, you guys are incredible. I love. I try to catch as many shows as I can. If I can replay it back, I try to watch. You guys are so inspiring to me because you're so young and you drive for what you need to do. And I know the show's about me, but I'm just saying, guys, I'm so blessed to be here because you guys are so intelligent and you know what you want and you're pushing for that and you give people so many chances to show themselves as well. So I just want to say thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. We're always looking for it. We're so excited to have you on the show and to talk with you. You're so inspiring and so powerful.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I just want to make
For,
people happy.
for our next question, we want to know what your process is like when you're writing music.
Let's see. Well, I find a meaning to the song. And usually my process is there is really no process. It just happens. Like I could be in the shower and it happens. I could be in the car and it happens. Um, what I usually do is I have a piece of paper by my bedside. I have a piece of paper in my pocket with a pen. I have a piece of paper everywhere, and there's pens in my car. Uh, there's really no process. Sometimes I just have the guitar, and I'll be, hey, I have an idea right talking to you right now. Like it could just pop in my head right now. There is really no process to being a musician. I mean,
Absolutely.
someone may have a process, but I don't. There is no process for me. I'm the most disorganized musician you probably ever meet.
Yeah, it's so cool to hear how different musicians write their music, and I know they're really an inspiration to hit anywhere for music. I've been up to like midnight writing songs before, so
Yeah,
I know
I
exactly
am.
what
And
you're talking
I will admit, Java jamming for me, I have to be a little bit organized, and I will say that you have to be you have to be organized. But I'm really disorganized for a musician. Someone's on my lap. she's our she's our mascot for Java jamming.
about. Oh, your kitty's so adorable.
She's like you're in the interview, and I want you some time with you.
Oh, it's so cute. My cat's been walking around me all the time today. So
Yeah, they
Yeah,
know when you're not. They know when you're not feeling good, and she knows I'm sick, so
yeah.
she's like right on top of me.
yeah. My dog is barking right now. He always picks the work. He won't pay attention to me all day, and then the moment I'm on an interview or I'm on a live, he decides that's when he wants
Or you're
to pay
painting,
attention to me.
or you're playing your piano, or you're playing your guitar. They're there, and they're always there. Java jamming. She sits until the end. She knows when I'm done. When I put the guitar down, she's on top of me for the hug, and that's it.
My dog,
She
my dog's still a puppy, so he doesn't understand anything. He just if he wants to be on top of you, he's gonna be on top of you, and you don't get an option. He will force himself on top of you. He wants cuddles when he wants them.
When my kitty was still a kid, and he used to sit on top of my guitar while I was playing. So, for the next question tonight, I wanted to go ahead and ask you, what are some of your favorite songs you've written, and could you tell us some about the stories or ideas behind the songs?
I just wrote 4 songs within the last week, and I would have to say There is no favorite song. I don't know if many musicians have a favorite song, but all of my songs are releasing my feelings and other people feel. I write about other people too. When they tell me they have a problem, I'll write about them. Um, I try to make people happy, and my goal in Java Jammin is to put forth music that makes people happy, and to give people musical medicine so that they can spread happiness to other people, love, peace, and compassion. And I believe in white light and healing other people, healing people throughout the day. If I don't get my medicine from it, then I don't believe they do. And I just believe that music is a healer, and it's been known to heal throughout centuries. So why not give it to other people? Uh, but I don't know if they have favorite songs because they request lots of my favorite songs. But if I have one right now, it would have to be uh, a mystery to me. That would have to be my favorite song right now that I've written.
It's so cool. Yeah.
Right now, just right at this moment, there's 3 songs that I really don't have a favorite song, but that would be the one that I like the most right now.
Absolutely. My songs I like to play, they change like weekly. It's like it's something that's always changing. So it's always hard to pinpoint exactly at a time which one's your favorite.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's a big thing. And before we close out, I do want to ask one more question, just so our followers and watchers know. Can you tell us where people can go to support you and listen to your music?
Yes, you can find me on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and DistroKid. And there was one other place, but I can't remember it. I think no, I think that was it. iTunes and Spotify. Under Rockin, Rockin, and then Ro. Sometimes you have trouble finding me. I don't know why they put me in different. They put me in as a song form sometimes. So if you hear one of my songs, you might want to look that up instead.
Absolutely. I'm gonna have to go listen to some of your music on Spotify. But for anybody who's watching this stream right now, make sure you guys go and support Ro and stream her music. She's amazing and she's a great songwriter and musician.
And you guys are great. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. We're so honored to talk with you.
I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much
much
again
for
for coming
coming
on.
on. Yeah, it was a great interview. You did so good, and I'm very happy that we got the time to have you on.
Thank you. And just keep spreading your stuff, Lily. Your love, peace, and compassion is beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. And your shows are so cool. They have such a great vibe and they always make me feel super good when I'm watching them. And they're super relaxing and I love them so much and they're so cool. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye. I loved Joe's interview so much. She was an amazing guest to have on. I was so honored to get to talk to her for a little bit. And I loved a lot of her responses. There was so much great insight in there. For any of you who are experiencing tech issues along with us live during this one, we're going to be posting a edited YouTube version. So I'll be posting that to the Orchid Times show group. So make sure to keep an eye out and you guys can watch Rose's interview again if you want. Next, we're going to go ahead and do our new segment. So I want to go ahead and invite Renee on to join us today.
Hey, thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited to have you on
Thank
here.
you for having me.
So first, we wanted to go ahead and talk some about women in the Ukrainian military. Ukrainian female veterans face an enormous amount of sexism in the military. They face even more sexual discrimination when they return home, and some women will even choose not to wear their uniforms in public for the fear of being harassed. The Ukrainian military does not have a lot of services in place to help veterans because of lack of funding and help from other countries. And because of this, females are often told to ignore their trauma when attempting to use the already minimal services they have available. And these Ukrainian veterans weren't even allowed access to any of these resources until 2019. These women are so brave and they still choose to fight for their country in spite of all they have to face. Hey, Renee, your camera still isn't working on my end.
Okay, that's okay. I'll just put my avatar on and at least you can
it's
hear
totally
me.
fine.
Okay.
So I just finished talking about some of the facts behind women in the Ukrainian military.
Yeah, and this is super disappointing that they're still having to be subjected to all of these things. The women in Ukraine are very patriotic. They are many of the active military soldiers who are women in Ukraine are even pregnant. They even have specialized. They had not had this until very recently, but a few months ago, an independent organization came forward and helped them fashion specific fatigues and uniforms for pregnant women, which is a huge deal, but it's just disappointing that it took that long, considering that they are giving all of the same sacrifices as their male counterparts. So it's just another reminder that we are still a long way away from equality. And it also just goes to point to the persistence and doggedness of Ukrainian women who are fighting for their families and their country just as much as the men. And I'm hoping that giving more and more attention to this inequality will shore that up and shore up that gap, and also be something that other militaries as well around the world can learn from.
Absolutely. I know I wrote about this topic in a essay I did for school a few months ago, and the research and some of the statistics behind it are so disappointing. And the female veterans that's in Ukraine, they're just so empowering and they're so strong too, especially because a lot of them know what they're going to face before they even enter into the military. And I just think they're super strong and they're somebody we can all look up to.
Exactly, definitely.
So our next topic we wanted to talk about today was females in the film industry. Renee, did you want to lead on this one?
Yeah, definitely. So it's very disappointing that even after all of these decades of Hollywood and so much female involvement, I mean, some of the greatest directors and producers and actors of all time have been women or identified as female. And anyone will tell you, and when we had Olive Chiachia on, she talked about this as well, how it's super disappointing that when you go to a film set, like I was on 4 different films in the last half year, and you almost never see a woman behind the scenes. You do see the actresses, the actors who are female in front of the camera, but it's very rare to find women whose scripts are being bought and used. Women directors are still not being lauded or applauded, and producers are almost across the board all male still. And it's really I don't want to say surprising, because I know that sexism endures in all sectors of society, but you would think that the film industry would be more progressive than it already is. And we don't see as much of it because, like I said, it's mostly behind the camera. So I think a lot of people are not aware of this, and that's why I'm really happy that we're discussing it.
Absolutely. That's such an important topic you brought up too. Women behind the scenes don't get even close to the recognition they deserve for their work. Women make up only 18% of directors, 31% of producers, 21% of editors, and only 7% of cinematographers, which is just super sad. And a recent poll too said that 94% of women working in the film industry have experienced sexual harassment or assault, and the media is also really hard on them compared to male co-stars. And men outnumber women on screen 2 to 1, and women make up less than a third of speaking characters, which is just so disappointing to also see the lack of representation and a recognition they get on screen too, not to mention what they get behind the scenes.
Exactly. And sexual harassment is rampant. We did the Me Too movement and all of the stuff with Harvey Weinstein sort of brought it to light. But essentially, a lot of women are still, it's still almost normalized, where women are having to do certain things that they feel very uncomfortable with and being actively abused on set in order to not be fired and in order to get other roles. And that's something that I think the more we talk about it, hopefully eventually we can start to eradicate it, because the film industry would be so much more powerful, so much more creative, if we could shore up all of those inequalities. And of course, eradicating abuse anywhere is always a blessing.
Absolutely. That's why it's so important we use our voice and advocate for people behind the scenes and stuff too, in film industries and other industries that are male inundated, just because we are louder together with more voices. So it's always important that we use our voice to help advocate for others.
Exactly. Definitely.
For our next topic today, we're going to take some time to talk about the recent stuff going on about trans rights around the world. The Britain government has blocked Scotland's gender recognition law. This bill would make it easier for transgender people to change their legal gender. This bill lowers the age from 18 to 16 at which people can apply for a gender recognition certificate. And this bill would greatly benefit the LGBTQ plus youth in the UK, and it's so sad here that it got voted. And this is only one of the recent setbacks that trans and LGBTQ plus community rights have experienced throughout the world. There was an anti-trans video released by Trump earlier this month. His video contained his new policy and proposals for his campaign, and they aim at taking away the rights and voice of the LGBTQ plus community by suggesting new policies like reforming the school curriculum to teach children about the traditional roles of mothers and fathers. And he also proposed a new bill that would make it so the only genders recognized by the United States government is male and female, and they are assigned at birth. This is absolutely disgusting to see videos and policies like this, and especially to see the already minuscule representation of the LGBTQ plus youth in education being taken away. And the even sadder thing is that this is not the first occurrence of a new law or policy being introduced or discussed that is attempting to take away the LGBTQ plus community's rights. And with where we are in society right now, it's really disappointing and discouraging to see how far we still have to go in equality for everyone, which is why it's really important we all use our voices to advocate for our rights.
Exactly. And I think it's so disappointing, to put it mildly, that trans rights, LGBTQ plus rights, that these are not considered just basic human rights. They're not asking, people in these communities are not asking for any special or additional benefits. They are literally just asking for human rights. So the same as anyone else has. And why somebody would be able to be discriminated against simply because of their identity, how they choose to identify, is absolutely, it's just infuriating. And the British Parliament, one of the reasons why they said that they were blocking this was that they felt it would be, they would be behind the Scottish, like the Scottish would be in front of them here, and there would be like a mismatch. Instead of them just coming forward and saying, we will meet you and we will come up to meet trans rights, it's like they're holding other people back. And I think the only answer is to just keep fighting and to not give any quarter to anyone who is choosing inequality or trying to block basic human rights.
Absolutely. And it's so disappointing to see lies and stuff like this even being talked about. I know we talked about it a little bit in one of our previous news segments, but there's already been like over 100 bills in the United States government alone just since the beginning of the year that specifically target trans rights and LGBTQ plus communities' rights. And as you were saying, it's everybody just needs equal rights. It's disappointing that this stuff is still going around.
Exactly. These are basic human rights. And so hopefully we'll just keep fighting and getting there. And slowly we will start to lead the charge. And hopefully around the world, we're going to get closer and closer to everybody having their basic needs met.
Absolutely. For our last topic tonight, we wanted to take some time to send our condolences to anyone who has lost someone to the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. It's so sad to see the stories about the events going on right now, and I just want to send my condolences out to anybody who's lost somebody that they've known or anything.
Absolutely. It is so tragic. It is one of the worst catastrophes that we have seen. And the fact that there's also a civil war raging in many of the affected communities, and that a lot of political and governmental policies were blocking aid workers and rescuers. It's just been so infuriating for a lot of the rescuers, like the white helmets who are on ground, who are desperately trying to save people and animals who are still trapped in rubble, or at least have been up until very recently. Every minute counts. And the fact that they weren't getting access sometimes because of political things is just really sad to me. Some of these, I mean, a lot of it could have been a lot easier to rescue people. And also the building codes, there was a whole build up to this where the government was really not advocating for its own people. So it's a complicated issue, and I know we don't have time to really delve into it, but just keep everybody in your thoughts. And there have been some wonderful miracles where people have been, children, dogs, and mothers have been found under the rubble. So shout out to, if anyone wants to donate or something. There's going to be a lot of reconstruction and a lot of rebuilding that has to go on.
Absolutely. There's a lot of really great charities you can donate to. I might be posting some links later in the Orchid Times group, so just keep an eye out Thank you all so much for being here today, and thank you, Renee, for participating in the news segment with me. I loved having you on today.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm honored.
Oh, thank you. Thank you all so much for being here and for supporting our show. It means so much to me. Make sure to tune in next week so you don't miss our amazing discussion on the book The Nightingale. It's already one of my favorite books I've read, and that's saying a lot because I've read a lot of books. So if you haven't already, it's not too late to start reading. Make sure to tune in where we're going to be discussing the first 20 chapters. So I'm super excited. Thank you all so much again for being here. I hope you all have a great rest of your night and week. See you next Wednesday. Bye.